Hello everyone, welcome to the next course in the MBA program here. All of you have been in the previous courses, so you know we do the videos every week. I put the scenery up here for you. And I come up with a little topic of inspiration or motivation or just something to remind us. So this week I came up with thought about endurance. So this here says patient endurance. We're not out of focus. I'm just using like the analogy, you're in a race or a long journey, so it's still out of focus for you. You're not there yet. But so patient endurance or endurance. Endurance is patience, concentrated. So I use these analogies like, runners, athletics, marathon race, whatever the case is, of, when people look at the marathons and say that's the beginning of a race. I say no, that's not the beginning. The beginning began years earlier when marathoners started training. They're doing their 10, 12, 20 miles a day, pretty much every day, to train. So that's where the endurance comes in. They also have to have the patience to do it, because to go out and run 10 miles, that doesn't get done in a couple of minutes. They have, takes a while. My crossover analogy here to school, same thing. First, school is something you do every day. Especially in a program like this, an MBA, or if you go on to go get a doctor or something like that. It's an everyday thing. It's part of your life. It's not something extra. And a lot of students have difficulty with getting a hold of that this is something you're supposed to do every day. Regardless of what school you go to in the United States, regardless of the course, the expectation and the assumption is that a student is putting at least 10 hours a week into one course. So again, if you were in a situation where you are struggling, you have to look back at yourself and say, okay, am I putting 10 plus hours a week in to one course? And if you got two courses, you're talking 20 hours. And a lot of people say, oh, that can't be done. Well, it's something you have to do. I had to do it. Most people I know, that's what life was for that year or 2 years or whatever the case is. So that's the other point is, but that takes patience. The endurance thing is getting through the end. So again, it's not just about building up endurance and, okay, I use the thing of starting the clock on a Monday. So as a student, on Monday comes, you start that 10-hour clock. You got to have enough patience to actually do that whole 10 hours. You have to have the endurance to get to the end too. So, so there you go. So that's my little rant this week for you. And with that, we'll go into the course here. So the research methods course. Now this is all about doing research. So regardless of your your career field, because I know there's a few that are in different things. You might be in education, you might be in the medical field, or business, whatever it's going to be, IT or something. There's going to be opportunities probably for you to do research, and so that's what this course is all about. So in here we got okay, we got our weekly PowerPoint. So yes, there's a lot of chapters. First one is the role of business, why business research, information system, knowledge management. That's about how do we store all the information. Theory building, what different theories of what works, what might work. The process itself, just the research process. The human side, organizations, ethical issues, things like that, HR, and then we jump up to chapter 25, but that'll also be covered in week 5, but it has the actual presentation. So that's why we got chapter 25 in here, because part of your project is you're going to have a presentation. So, okay, your week 1 discussion. Dun, dun, dun. So you got to do an article here. So you don't necessarily have to use the Bryan library if you can find something that's reputable. And I always use the term Billy Bob blog. You don't use Billy Bob's blog, okay? But you find a reputable article that you can use. It can be about business, nonprofit, government agency, whatever the case is. So, and then when the assignments here, so you got a quiz every week, and then you also got a paper you got to do every week. So again, on the papers, it's pretty straightforward here, and also make sure we're doing the APA one to depending on what you're writing. Now, I do say, one-liners don't work at this level. You need to have sentences or paragraphs, depending on what the case is. So, and all right, so you got a quiz every week, paper, the research project. So you gotta let me know what your project is. It don't have to just a sentence. Hey, I'm gonna be doing my research on whatever it is, and then the project itself, which is doing week 5. So when you open this up here, just pretty much has it all laid out here, what you have to do. So and the page length and so forth, and your presentation. So you got to do a paper and a presentation. Sometimes, and I just remind you, presentations support a document. So if somebody's reading your document and they're listening or watching your presentation, it should follow. I've seen some where the paper is totally different than the presentation. So just make sure it follows along on whatever on your topic, and of course APA format and so forth. So any questions on this, just let me know. Again, don't wait until end of the course to the project you should be building on from week to week. So there shouldn't be any issues there. So each week you'll have discussion on a paper and a quiz up until week 5. You also, in this particular, you got the presentation. There's also lecture notes that complement the text. So I mean, if you want to go in there and look at those too, some of it is exactly right out of the chapter, some is just summary. So that's they're there for you if you want to do that. So, but otherwise, welcome. And again, if you have any questions, just get in touch with me. Remember, I'm 7 days a week, so text, call, email, and we'll get back to you. And again, don't procrastinate. And have patience and endurance, and get to where you're going. And I'll give you my my test question here. I'm not sure if you've seen this one before or not, but anyway, 2 grandkids. This one's back down there, and this guy. So what are they doing? That will be the test question. And with that, I will let you go. Have a great week, and please get in touch if you need anything. Take care, everybody. Bye.